Oh, it is working now. Okay, today is the feast of Saint Bernadette. Lot. There's a lot of saints today, so I'm gonna just do them all. Some of them. Today is Saint Bernadette of Lourdes. She was born in France. She was the oldest of 6 children. She was hired out as a servant to work, I guess, as a shepherdess at the age of 12 to 14. On February the 11th, 1858, around the time of her first communion, she received a vision of the Virgin. Her own account is in her readings. You know, I think it's important for us to know about the saints. And I was preparing. Sometimes I'm making my breakfast, and I'm listening to the events of the day. I used to listen to a apostolate, which is no longer there. And so I said, well, I would like to be able to hear these saints. And so now I'm doing that for you. Anyway, Saint Bernadette received 17 more accounts, visitations of the Virgin Mary in the next 5 months. She was led to a spring of healing water. She moved into a house with the Sisters of Never, as opposed to the Sisters of Sometime and the Sisters of Always. No, the Sisters of Nevers at Lourdes. Sorry. She moved into the house where she worked and lived and learned to read and write. She cared for the sick and the indigent. And at age 22, they admitted her. They admitted Bernadette into their order since she was both. She was sick and indigent. Oh, I thought she was there to care for them. Anyway, she was always sick herself and often mistreated by her superiors. She died. I guess they didn't believe her. She died with a prayer for Mary's aid. And since the appearances of Mary to young Bernadette in 1858, more than 200 million people have visited the shrine of Lourdes. We've all heard of Lourdes. She was born at Lourdes, France in 1844 and died in 1879. So she was like 37 years old, 36, whatever. Her patronage is for bodily ills and illness, against poverty, for shepherdesses and shepherds and sick people and poor people. And I thought this quote was interesting. This is Saint Bernadette, you must receive God well, give him a loving welcome, for then he has to pay us rent. So she was a bit cheeky, wasn't she? Okay, and then here's, if you were to look it up yourself, from a letter from Saint Bernadette, she describes the visitation. She'd gone down one day with 2 other girls to the bank of the river Gave, when suddenly she heard a rustling sound and turned toward the field, but the trees seemed quite still. The noise was evidently not from them. Then she says, I looked up and caught sight of a cave where I saw a lady wearing a lovely white dress with a bright belt. On top of each of her feet was a pale yellow rose, the same color as her rosary beads. At this, I rubbed my eyes thinking I was seeing things, and I put my hands into the folds of my dress where my rosary was. I wanted to make the sign of the cross, but for the life of me, I couldn't manage it, and my hand just fell down. Then the lady made the sign of the cross herself, and at the second attempt, I managed to do the same, though my hands were trembling. So, let's today pray for the souls in purgatory, and let's ask all the saints to pray for us, including Saint Bernadette of Lourdes.